Hi, everyone. Welcome to Mini Scroll, the daily internet culture podcast bringing you the biggest stories from social media, the creator economy, and the digital space every Monday through Thursday and sometimes Fridays. I'm your host, Lauren Meisner, the founder of the youth digital media brand, Centennial World. Welcome back to Mini Scroll, everyone. If you guys watched Mini Tech Scroll yesterday, then you'll see I'm in the exact same outfit. I am pre-recording this episode, and I just do not care to change my outfit so it looks like I recorded it on a different day. So you're getting double denim twice in a row. All right, let's get into the stories for today. Actually, please rate, review, and subscribe. Annabelle's always like, you need to plug the newsletter. You need to say rate, review, and subscribe. You need to plug the buy me a coffee. And I literally just always forget. Can you tell that she's a Capricorn? She keeps me in check. So all of those things, please do all of those things, okay? Annabelle will be happy that I reminded you. Okay, let's get into the stories for today. So the first story that I have for you guys, this is wild. We need to talk about E.L.F's new campaign. Okay, like E.L.F. Beauty, the makeup brand, because it is starring one of the most random ambassadors you could ever choose, and I am unfortunately having to talk about him 2 weeks in a row, Matt Rife. The campaign is legal themed and makes the case that it's, quote, practically criminal to pay too much for high quality beauty. In the video for the campaign, Matt Rife is starring alongside famous drag queen Heidi Closet. Together, the two form a legal firm aiming to defend your eyes, lips, and funds. The premise of the campaign is actually quite smart, and it feels like it matches the brand. But choosing Matt Rife is literally crazy. Like, I don't even know how else to describe that. If you're unfamiliar with Matt Rife, he has faced controversy over the years for a number of reasons. First and foremost, he included an extremely inappropriate joke in his Netflix special, Matt Rife Natural Selection. He began the special with a misogynistic joke about a restaurant hostess with a black eye, alluding to domestic violence. To make matters worse, Matt later doubled down on this joke, quote unquote. Instead of apologizing, he shared an Instagram story with a link to a website selling helmets to protect against seizures, head trauma, and headbanging. Second, he found himself at the center of controversy after Brooke Schofield exposed him for his behavior during their relationship. So E.L.F. picking a controversial figure is already like not a good move, but picking Matt Rife specifically just feels so weird, especially as a beauty brand that would traditionally, like cater to women. Like their largest customer base is women. And to choose someone who has been so misogynistic against women in his relationships, in his comedy, his career, like that is such a bizarre and off-base choice. Also, what does Matt Rife have to do with makeup? Why would they choose him? I understand makeup is for everyone, but Matt Rife has no connection to makeup. We don't know anything about his beauty routine. That's not part of any type of his public persona. It is such a weird choice. And pairing him with a drag queen like Heidi Closet also feels very unnatural. So as noted by Georgia from the Please Don't Make Me Focus Substack, she wrote, quote, pairing a fake edgy right-wing it boy, Matt Rife, with a drag queen, Heidi Closet, was certainly a choice, and the wrong one. Marketers love to assume that juxtaposition is inherently smart or subversive. I am sure someone in the room said no one will expect this. But why? Who cares? At least with American Eagle and Sydney Sweeney, they were talking to a specific audience. Looking at the comments, I have no idea who this is for. If you're chasing right-wing money, you lose them by including a drag queen. And the opposite is true too. So, who is the market? That completely sums up my feelings on this. Who is this for? This is not some crazy, edgy, cool, subversive type of marketing strategy. It is off base. It is bizarre. And E.L.F., they've been having a moment. People have really appreciated E.L.F.'s efforts over the last few years. They are kind of one of the darlings of the more affordable beauty community. And we know that E.L.F., the parent company, just bought Rhode Beauty. So to launch with this and, get this kind of reception, I hope they listen. I hope that they actually consider how this was a mistake. You can just see the intention behind it, which was let's put this really bizarre pairing together and everyone's gonna think this was marketing genius. And everyone's actually this is just kind of lazy and this was not well thought out. Okay, the next story that I have for you guys, this is kind of insane, also really upsetting, but I'm gonna talk about Annal Delvey and the abandoned bunnies. So if you don't know who Annal Delvey is, she is a famous con artist who allegedly defrauded New York's elite. She pretended to be a German heiress to try and build the Annal Delvey Foundation and also gain various opportunities from running in these circles. She served jail time and was initially released from prison at the beginning of 2021. Afterwards, she was taken into custody for overstaying her visa. She was released again in October 2022 under house arrest. Annal Delvey's obviously the subject of the very popular Netflix series, Inventing Anna. Definitely watch it if you guys have not. But she is a real person. She did these things. Since she was released, she's famously been on Dancing with the Stars. And she also did a pretty iconic interview with Z-Way. Anyways, Annal Delvey has found herself in controversy online after doing a photo shoot with some bunnies. And then allegedly dumping these bunnies in a park. Basically, 2 bunnies were found in Prospect Park in Brooklyn. People online soon linked them to the bunnies in Anna's Instagram posts. 3 bunnies have allegedly been found and linked to the photo shoot. This is how this happened. Web specialist and vegan blogger Terry Chow went searching for the bunnies after seeing a post in a local Facebook group saying some bunnies were found in the park. Over the next few days, she came across multiple abandoned bunnies. After looking at Anna's pictures, people started putting 2 and 2 together. Social media users were quick to blame Anna for the bunnies. According to New York Magazine, quote, "At first, Delvey was defensive. She claimed in a comment that the person who sourced the bunnies had informed her that the animals were safe. But things became even more confusing when Terry Chow saw that Anna had tagged a hairstylist named Christian Batty and posts from the photo shoot. Terry told New York Magazine that she had received a message from the hairstylist in the lead up to the photo shoot after scouting her rabbit. Quote, Batty offered her $100 to borrow the bunny for the day, but Chow declined. But close reading the photos, Chow saw that Delvey had posted the same blanket and box they found in Prospect Park. Chow made the proof public in a thread on a Reddit page dedicated to Delvey. It has also been reported that Christian allegedly confessed to the allegations in a Facebook page called NYC Bunnies. Anna has since gone on to issue her own statement about the situation. She didn't really take any accountability for what transpired, which is not surprising at all if you know anything about Annal Delvey. But she also shared that she has donated to the rescuers' chosen charity, All About Rabbits Rescue. She wrote, "As many of you know, I recently did a photo shoot with Jasper Soloff involving live rabbits. Christian Batty, a hair team member I briefly met during a Fashion Week event last year, claimed he had a friend who could lend us bunnies for a few hours. I later learned that instead of borrowing animals from a legitimate source, as he stated, he had obtained them from Facebook Marketplace from someone looking to surrender them and planned to abandon them in Prospect Park. I had no knowledge of this until the afternoon of August 10th. She goes on to say she's very upset about this. All 3 rabbits were recovered in good health and placed in new foster homes. I have donated $1,000 to the rescuers' chosen charity." She also went on to share screenshots of Christian Batty's statement on the situation, as well as screenshots of their text chain. One of the screenshots had text that read, "Christian Batty lied to us for days about returning the rabbit. Turns out his plan all along was to dump them." Okay, so the response to Anna's post has been mixed. Some social media users are satisfied by her statement, saying that she was pretty transparent. Others are upset that she didn't take any accountability and that she chose to use animals in the photo shoot in the first place. Am I surprised that Annal Delvey is involved in a scandal like this? No. I feel like Annal Delvey probably still doesn't surround herself with the best people, okay? Or the best people probably don't want to necessarily be around Annal Delvey, one or the other. But I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine. Imagine just dumping an animal that is, I can't even think about it. It makes me so upset. That's what happened to my little doggy Pumpkin, my little baby, my little 3-legged Chihuahua. She was abandoned, and I can't even think about it. It's so cruel and sick. Why would you not just take them to a shelter? I don't understand. Okay, the last story that I have for you guys is more in the marketing kind of industry realm, but I came across an article talking about how men are using Reddit to shop, and I thought this was interesting. I avoid the topic of men as much as I can, okay? But this is a really interesting story. So the piece was published by Vogue Business and explores why men are using subreddits to, quote, discover, discuss, and decide on fashion. Obviously, when we think about men using Reddit, it is not for fashion. Like, that is honestly the last thing that comes to mind. So I do think turning to Reddit for fashion advice is a lot more wholesome than I think what most men are using the platform for. So two of the most popular subreddits in this niche are r/male fashion advice and r/big male fashion advice. We know that especially with the rise of AI, it's becoming increasingly difficult to Google search and just like search in general for information that you're looking for. So we know that because of that, people are turning to Reddit for advice and inspiration a lot of the time. So I guess this is just another consequence of that. As the founder of communications and creative firm Nobo Agency tells the journalist, quote, Reddit plays a growing role in how customers do their research. It's where they validate drops, check resale value, or just find out if something is worth copying. And obviously a huge part of Reddit's benefit is that it's discourse based. So there's just more room to talk about a product, give like valid reviews, even talk about like the cultural context of a brand or an item of clothing. Now, there is something to be said about the anonymity of Reddit. Talking about fashion and clothing can sometimes be embarrassing. And as Amy Fancom notes for the publication, quote, it's judgment-free space to seek advice, swap tips, and explore interests. And along the way, many also end up diving into style and fashion discussions. Yeah, I think a lot of men were probably not raised to think very much about their style and their appearance in that way. I think fashion is typically considered like a girly category. And so they maybe get to adulthood, they do have an interest in dressing themselves well, and they maybe don't even know where to start. So like going to somewhere like Reddit and having that community and also it being able to remain anonymous is probably like pretty powerful for a lot of people. Now, there's definitely opportunity for brands to get involved with this. Reddit is one platform that brands haven't really managed to crack yet or like really invest a lot of time and money into. But in the article, they do mention one successful example, Adidas. To promote one of their shoes, Adidas took over certain communities for an Ask Me Anything with Stephen Schulten, Global Director of Footwear at Adidas. Quote, this activation showcased the design and construction of the new shoe, highlighting its innovative materials and performance benefits. By tapping into Redditors' preference for substance over hype, the campaign resonated with both sneaker enthusiasts and performance-driven athletes. Reddit is like one of the main places that we get information for our brand. We always get asked like, how do you find stories? Where do you look? First of all, we've just trained our algorithms. Like, I know if I scroll on TikTok for a certain amount of time, my algorithm, she won't fail me. She will deliver me the stories that I need. But beyond that, Reddit is like one of the first places that we will look every single day as well. All right, guys, that's it for Mini Scroll today. Thank you so much for listening. I love you guys. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow for a Friday Mini Scroll. Bye.